The book Reality Transurfing. It's an amazing book that showcases a lot about the universe and the mindset attraction and mindset shift. But there's one specific topic I want to talk about, and it's how it talks about pendulums. For those of you who don't know what a pendulum is, so a pendulum is an object typically like a bob, basically like that, at the end of a string or rod that swings freely back and forth under the influence of gravity. Every person has a pendulum in their life, and your pendulum is attracted by specific surroundings that you have. Now, this pendulum could move the way you want it to move, but it's going to be harder, or you go with the flow of life. So, for example, growing up, going without with friends, studying a degree, graduating and working, all that is going with the flow of life. But there comes a point where some of you stop and start questioning what they're doing. Like, wait, am I going in the right direction? Am I happy with my life? I'm not satisfied. I'm not content. So you have to change the motion of the pendulum. But in order for you to change the pendulum's motion, you need an equal and an opposite, actually a more stronger force that moves this pendulum in a way that you want it to. The reason why I want to talk about this is because a lot of souls in this life, a lot of us, go with the flow of life. But then at some point we stop and we're not content, we're not happy with where we are. Because your pendulum is moving in ways that you don't like it, you don't want it to move. In order for you to move a pendulum to a specific direction in a way that you want it to move, it's going to create you need to create a lot of force to move it. And that force comes in many different ways. For example, if you have graduated in a business degree and you don't like the finance job that you're working in, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a content creator, you want to open your own business. The first beginning stages of you trying to first off balance this pendulum that you have and then want it to move in a direction that you want is going to be difficult. It's going to be so hard. You're literally going against the grain. You're going against the wind that you're being blown to. There's many things that come into equation. But once you figure every step out, once you figure out your operations, your marketing, your team, every logistic about opening a business, and you start running it, it's going to seem to be easier and easier over time. But it's not because it gets easier, it's because you've already built the good fundamentals of this business. And now the pendulum starts swaying in ways that you want it to. And once that happens, you're going to get attraction, you're going to get customers, you're going to start building your own brand, you're going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. So don't be discouraged by how your pendulum is swaying at the moment. Don't be discouraged if the opening a business is super hard. Don't get overwhelmed by how do I file an LLC, how do I do this, how do I start with operations, how do I market, how do I create piece of useful information that people want to buy, so far and so on. Don't get discouraged, because that's the hardest part. That's the activation energy that you need, which is so difficult because you don't know much, and at the same time you're going against the grain. So you need a lot of knowledge building and a lot of application and a lot of doing it over and over and over and over again, to where at some point it's going to start tipping over to a way that you want it to. That's why a lot of businesses fail. That's why 99% of the businesses fail, because they don't wait long enough. They don't put enough inputs to where at some point it starts swaying the way you want it to. I love this analogy, and I think people should actually read this book. Reality Transurfing on YouTube. You're going to be able to see that video. He basically read the whole audiobook for you. You can read it while on driving, you can listen to it while doing your cardio, while working, whatever the case may be. It's going to give you a great idea and have a good grasp on how you can start heading in directions that you want.